Women's football in the 1920s was extremely popular, but the Football Association wanted to actively discourage it.
I think the FA banned women's football in 1921 after they'd drawn crowds up to 55,000, and I think what they wanted to do was protect all the revenue streams for men's football rather than the money going to charity. So in that way, women's football was a bit of a threat economically to the model of the Football League.
Women did still play, of course, but the facilities were non-existent and it wasn't taken seriously.
The electrical engineers, bright sparks to you, have challenged the munition workers, the great guns, to a football match. That's right, tuck it in, Tessie. After the powder, we shall be seeing a shot or two.
Games were played at grassroots level, but there were also amateur international matches, like this one between England and Holland.
Pretty combinations between the Dutch centre-forward and inside left menaced the English goal, but the substantial custodian left little room for them to shoot.
In 1966, the Leicester City Ladies Football Club was formed.
Well, we had good fun, but we had to raise all our own money. The FA would not let us have pitches, and some of the pitches hadn't got female changing areas anyway. It was quite different to today. We changed in garages, in the cars, sometimes somewhere else, then drove in the boots to the match.
When the FA lifted the ban in 1971, Leicester City Ladies finally got a pitch.
First one was at Weston Park in Leicester. It wasn't the best, but it was a pitch. And then we did move around a little bit. The changing rooms were quite a long way away. We had to carry the goalposts before the match and put them up, and the same after the match. And when it was cold and they were quite heavy, but you just managed. We enjoyed playing. We got a wooden hut to change in, but the park keeper knew us after a bit and did light a fire for us, and that was lovely.
But at least there was the half-time orange. Today, girls' grassroots football is thriving. Coventry City girls have plenty of players coming through the ranks.
I believe from 10 years ago we had about 2 teams here. It's grown massively over those 10 years. With all the help and volunteers, we've now grown, and we believe we're the biggest club in Coventry, and we've got 10 teams over our junior section and senior up to senior section.
And they don't just want to play the game, they want to give something back.
I want a career in football, so I'm going to uni to do sport, and then hopefully I'll be a football coach as well as being a teacher. I just like getting kids involved in sport, especially football, because it's something I have passion about.
In the last 10 years, the women's game has been taken seriously, with TV deals and access to stadiums like Villa Park. Leicester City women and Aston Villa ladies play in the Women's Championship League. It's the second highest division in women's football, and they're well aware of the debt they owe to those early pioneers of the 1920s.
We wouldn't be standing here today without them. I think that the fact that they started it, really, in essence, for us, for us to be able to play here now, it's credit to the work that's gone on years and years ago to allow that to happen. They've paved the way for us.
That doesn't mean that participating in a male-dominated sport is without its negative side, though.
Yeah, that you will get it. On social media, we get things like, oh, we won't be coming and all this, but that's fine. People can choose if they want to. All we ask is for a little bit of support, positive vibes, no negativity, and we'll play our hearts out.
The message from these teams is onwards and upwards.
We do not want it to now just kind of get stagnant. We've got to keep it moving, and we've got to keep it going forward in a positive direction. So I think our generation have to take that responsibility to keep growing it, developing it.
Leicester and Aston Villa are currently 6th and 7th in the Women's Championship and feeling confident. But who knows where the women's game could have been today if it hadn't been banned nearly 100 years ago. Jane Hesketh, ITV News at Villa Park.